Hello, students. I hope you all are doing well. Now, today we'll start up with lesson 7, which is Mahavira and Buddha, great preachers. So, let's begin. By the 6th century BCE, the Vedic religion had become very complex. There was a great deal of emphasis on rituals, yajnas, and sacrifices. Now, the Brahmins had become very powerful during this time, and whatever rituals they were telling, they were very costly for the common man. And at that time, as you all know, that the society was divided into Brahmins, then Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, and hence the Kshatriyas reacted very strongly against the ritualistic domination of the Brahmins. The language which was used for all the rituals was Sanskrit, and the common man could not understand it. The caste system became very rigid, and the life of the Shudras were miserable as they were very much ill treated by the upper class. And hence, the people were looking for a religion which would improve their position. And hence, at this time, two Kshatriya princes founded two new religions. They were the Vardhaman Mahavira and Gautam Buddha. Vardhaman Mahavira founded Jainism and Gautam Buddha founded Buddhism. So we'll start up with the first religion, that is Jainism. Here in the picture you can see Vardhaman Mahavira. Now Vardhaman Mahavira founded Jainism, but he was not the first Tirthankara. Now Tirthankara means teacher. The Jains believed that he was the 24th and the last Tirthankara. The first Tirthankara was Rishabdev, also known as Adinath. Next we'll study about the life of Mahavira. Mahavira was born in 540 BCE at Kundagram in Vaishali, which is now a district of Bihar. His father Siddharth was the head of a Kshatriya clan, and his mother Trishala was a Lichavi princess. Till the age of 30, Mahavira led a normal life. He was married to a princess named Yashoda and had a daughter. At 30, he renounced the world and wandered as an ascetic from place to place. He wandered for 12 years in search of knowledge. He attained enlightenment at the age of 42. It made him conquer both misery and happiness, and thus he became a Jina or the conqueror. His followers came to be known as Jains. He came to be called Mahavira or the great hero. He then travelled from place to place in Anga, Videha, and Magad, preaching his faith. He died in 468 BCE at Pavapuri at the age of 72. Next, we'll study about the doctrines of Jainism, which are Ahimsa, the attainment of moksha, Triratna, and 5 vows of Jainism. So we'll study them one by one. Now, ahimsa means non-violence. Mahavira was against non-violence and practiced strict ahimsa. Now, ahimsa is basically non-injury to any living object. He believed that every living being, every object had a soul. Even the unconscious killing of an ant was considered as a sin. Ahimsa means not to harm oneself or anyone else, and in a positive sense, it means respecting and loving all creation. Next one is Triratna. Now, by practicing the three virtues or following the three jewels of one life, one can attain moksha. And these three jewels or ratnas are having the right faith, right knowledge, and right action. Next one is the 5 vows of Jainism. And the first one in that is Ahimsa, that is non-violence. Then Satya, that is truth. Then Ashaurya or Asatya, that is non-stealing. Brahmacharya, celibacy. And Aparigraha, that is non-possession. Jainism is divided into two sects. They are the Digambaras and the Svetambaras. Now here in the picture you can see the Svetambaras and the Digambaras. Those who followed severe penance and renunciation were called the Digambaras or the sky clad. They kept long fasts and discarded clothes. And the second sect wore clothes but did not believe in extreme penance and renunciation. They were called the Shvetambaras, that is the white clad. Next, we come to the religious texts of Jainism. Now, the Prakrit language was adopted to preach the doctrines. Many regional languages also developed out of Prakrit language. Teachings were written in Ardh Magadhi. Next, we'll study about the spread of Jainism. Now, Jainism was free from rituals and complexities. Mahavira used Prakrit, the language of the common people, to spread his teachings. Now, some of the rulers were the followers of Jainism, and they patronized Jainism and made the religion popular. Mahavira organized an order of his followers in which he admitted both men and women. Chandragupta Maurya spread Jainism in Karnataka, and in later years, Jainism spread to Gujarat and Rajasthan also. Next, we come to the contribution of Jainism. Now, Jainism influenced and contributed to the Indian art and architecture. Beautiful and massive images in stone were sculpted for this purpose. The most beautiful example of Jain architectural perfection is the Dilwara temple of Mount Abu, which was built between the 11th and the 13th centuries. Now, these temples are renowned for skillful and artistic work in marble. Now, here in the picture, you can see the Dilwara temple at Mount Abu. Then, other temples built by Jains are the Ranakpur temple of Rajasthan, and here in the picture, you can see the Ranakpur temple and Gomteshwara statue in Shravan Belgola. Next, we come to the decline of Jainism. Now, the first point is undue emphasis on non-violence. Now, a lot of emphasis was paid on non-violence, which checked its spread among the farming community as a profession, which involved killing of insects and pests. The next one is extreme form of non-violence was practiced. Even the unconscious killing of ants was considered as a sin. So it became very difficult for the people to follow this religion. Then Mahavira's ideas were not acceptable to artisans and craftsmen whose occupation endangered the life of other creatures. Then strict Jain limitation of private property was the next point, which interpreted a ban on possession of land and property. Then fasting and self-mortification was the next point, and the lack of royal patronage. So these were some of the reasons which led to the downfall of Jainism. The next religion which we'll study about is Buddhism. In the picture, you can see Gautam Buddha. Now, Buddhism was founded by Gautam Buddha, and Buddha means enlightened. Like Mahavira, Buddha was also a Kshatriya of the Sakya clan. His father Sudodhana was the ruler of Kapilvastu, situated in the foothills of Nepal. His mother's name was Maya, and he was born at Lumbini, that is a place now in Nepal, in 563 BCE. Now we'll come to the life of Gautam Buddha from birth to renunciation. Buddha's real name was Siddharth. His father did not want him to become an ascetic or a saint. He gave him all luxuries and married him to a beautiful princess, Yashodhara. Siddharth had a son whom he named Rahul. The next we come to the Great Renunciation. Now, in the next picture, you can see the four sights which changed the life of Buddha. One day, Prince Siddharth, while on a chariot ride through a city, saw four sights of an old man, a sick man, and a dead body being carried by mourners. This disturbed and distressed him. Then he saw an ascetic who was serene and calm. No sorrow or worldly miseries affected him. These are the four great sights that changed the life of Buddha, and he renounced the world. And this renunciation came to be known as the Great Renunciation. After many years of wandering and leading a life of extreme penance and austerity, Buddha meditated under a peepal tree in Bodh Gaya in Bihar. He attained enlightenment and true knowledge, and thus he became the Buddha, the enlightened one. The tree under which he gained knowledge is known as the Mahabodhi Vriksh or the tree of wisdom, and the place as Bodh Gaya. There is a big temple at this place now known as the Mahabodhi temple. And here in the picture you can see the Mahabodhi temple. In the next picture you can see Buddha preaching his first sermon at the deer park in Sarnath. And in the next picture you can see Sarnath, which is located near Varanasi. This is called the Dharam Chakra Parivartan or turning of the wheel of law. He preached his religion till he died at the age of 80 in 483 BCE at Kushinagar. Next, we'll study about Buddha's teachings. Now, Buddha's teachings are contained in the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, which we'll study one by one. The Four Noble Truths are: there is suffering in the world. Suffering is caused by desire. To remove the suffering, one must get rid of desires, and this can be done by following the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path consists of the following: having right belief, right thought, right speech, right conduct, right means of livelihood, right effort, right thinking, and right meditation. Buddha did not believe in extremes. He advised people to follow the middle path. The aim of Buddhism was to attain nirvana, which is a state of perfect peace and freedom from suffering and from cycle of birth and death. Buddha believed in non-violence and criticized animal sacrifices and the caste system. One could achieve nirvana or salvation through good deeds and by following the path of truth and non-violence. He laid stress on love, compassion, and non-injury to living creatures, in word, thought, and deed. Next, we come to the religious texts of Buddhism. Now, Buddha's teachings were collected in the three Pitakas or the three baskets. They are the Vinay Pitaka, Sut Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. The stories of Buddha's birth and his previous life are contained in the Jatakas. Next, we come to the sects of Buddhism. Buddhism is divided into two sects, Hinayana and Mahayana. Now, those who followed Buddha's teaching strictly, they belong to Hinayana. Now, the followers of Mahayana sect started believing that Buddha was an incarnation of God, and they started worshipping him in the form of statues and bodhisattvas. Next, we come to the spread of Buddhism, and the first point is through royal patronage, by simplicity, and by following the principle of equality. So we'll study about them one by one. The first one is the royal patronage. Buddhism spread rapidly to Tibet, China, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia. You can see this in the map, how it is being spread through Asia. In the 3rd century BC, Emperor Ashoka became a great patron of Buddhism. Here you can see the picture of Emperor Ashoka. He propagated it in India and sent missionaries to Sri Lanka. Even his children, son Mahendra and daughter Sangamitra, went to far-off countries to spread Buddhism. Next, Kanishk, a later ruler, spread Buddhism to China, Korea, and Japan. And here you can see the picture of Kanishk. The next point is simplicity. Buddhism spread rapidly because of its teachings were very simple, and it was taught in the language of the people. And the two great emperors, Ashoka and Kanishk, made it a world religion. Then the third point is the principle of equality. Its opposition to the caste system made it popular, particularly among the castes that were considered low and held in contempt by the higher castes. Moreover, rules for monks and lay followers were different. Later on, women were also admitted to the religious order, that is the Buddhist Sangha. And here you can see the picture of Buddhist Sangha. Next, we come to the contribution of Buddhism. Now, Sangha, the religious order of the Buddhist monks. Now, here you can see the picture of Sangha of the Buddhist monks. was founded to spread the message of Buddha far and wide. Then, next is in the picture, you can see the Buddhist monasteries, which were also known as viharas, were the centers of learning and education. Now, in the ancient time, there were different universities, like the University of Taxila, and here you can see the picture of University of Taxila. Then the Nalanda University, and the Vikramshila University, which became the centers of Buddhist learning. Scholars from all over the world came to these universities. Buddhism also helped in the spread of education among people of all castes. Gradually, Buddhism became a way of life. Buddhism made great contributions in the field of art and architecture. Now, here in the pictures, you can see the different temples, then stupas, viharas, and chaityas, and other monuments which were built at that time. Next, we'll see some of the reasons which led to the decline of Buddhism. Now, Buddhism succumbed to rituals and ceremonies it originally denounced. The Buddhist monks cut off from the mainstream of people's life. There was a practice of idol worship and receiving of material offerings. Monks led a luxurious life. The Buddhist monasteries became centers of corrupt practices. The monasteries became target of invaders' greed also. The reform in the Hindu religion revived its popularity. Next, we come to the comparative study of Jainism and Buddhism. Now, the proponents of both the religions laid stress on leading an austere life. Both the religions denied the authority of the Vedas and opposed animal sacrifice, which brought them into conflict with the Brahminical orthodoxy. Now, compared to Jainism, Buddhism was moderate in its stress on the doctrine of non-violence. Buddhism emphasized on following the middle path, whereas Jainism laid stress on extreme austerity. Both the religions accepted members of lower caste in their fold, but neither sought to abolish the caste system. Neither of them waged any powerful struggle against the caste system and untouchability. Both of them challenged the superiority of the Brahmins. Buddha was silent about the existence of God, and Mahavira denied God's existence. While Jainism laid much stress on hard penance, Buddhism was moderate in all aspects. Both Jainism and Buddhism were reform movements, and they were started to reform the Hindu religion. With this, we come to an end of our lesson. I hope you all have understood it well. I'll be sending you the question and answers and exercises. Question and answers to be done in the notebook and exercises to be done in the textbook. And kindly complete your work and go through the lesson again for a better understanding. So stay safe, stay healthy, and have a nice day. Thank you.